What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm joined once again with
Gersh1.
And today we're back at it to answer more questions that you guys leave in our comments in another spine-tingling, brain-numbing, juice-filling for the greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we'll get to those questions first. That's what Simon Thies has done. He asks, what would happen if the warp was permanently sealed off from real space? So no warp.
Right. So the warp has been pretty crazy these past thousands of years. That's not to say it always was like that. Supposedly it was pretty tranquil back during the age of the Necron tier and the old ones.
Yep.
But once the Chaos Gods started to get into it, it was just bad.
Yeah. So initially, the thought is no more warp means no more demons, no more chaos gods, and that should be better for humanity and all the other races.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a key point of the warp is it provides faster than light travel for everybody except the Necrons, and I guess the Tau don't really have it, so or the Nids. So everybody but those three factions.
Right.
So without the warp. Yes, you get rid of chaos. Yes, you get rid of demons and the worry about the Cicatrice Maledictum. But no more faster than light travel, which means that it's a lot harder for humanity to
move around, transfer goods. It really would hinder them.
And the Imperial structure, the Imperium of Man would just kind of collapse because they're so distant.
Yeah.
Right now, let's say Fenris is under attack. Terra can send in reinforcements. They probably wouldn't, but let's say they would. They can send in reinforcements. They'll travel faster than light from Terra to Fenris, and boom, the Space Wolves have help. Mm-hmm. Without the warp, they have to just travel like normal. They would understand that we're not going to get there in time. So if Fenris is under attack, Fenris is under attack. Let them fend for themselves.
Exactly. You literally have to station Space Marine chapters or whatever militant force right next to key planets to defend them. And once those military chapters are gone, that's it.
Yeah. So humanity really becomes self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be like the Age of Strife, though. Because remember that the Age of Strife was made worse because of warp storms.
Yeah.
Warp storms wouldn't exist if there's no warp or if it gets closed off from real space.
Yeah, from this galaxy.
So the next big problem would then become Tyranids, Necrons, Orcs, and all the other Xenos, except the Eldar. We'll get to the Eldar in a second. But yeah.
Because these guys can travel fast in their own way, and with humanity and the Tau unable to be defended or get supplies to or get escorted out of there, they're done.
Yeah.
Think of a hive tendril and how much damage that did to the Ultramar segmentum. It'd be gone.
Yeah. All in all, I do see the warp being closed off as a bad thing for humanity. The Orcs kind of would prevail in the sense that they don't have a huge empire and they don't need it. Mm-hmm. They were just spread like they have always spread.
Yeah.
And then the Tyranids obviously don't need warp travel because they have that little ship, the Narwhal or whatever I think it's called, sends it out and then it basically bends real space. And then the Necrons already exist throughout the galaxy, so they would awaken, take their dynasties back and stuff like that. And they have faster than light travel. So in reality, the Necrons would have something that all the other races don't have. Mm-hmm. The other thing, with the Eldar. Because the Eldar live within the webway and use the webway, I'm thinking of the Dark Eldar. Mm-hmm. The Kamara is within the warp and in the webway. If it gets closed off, they get sealed off. It's like when you were a kid and you put all those little fireflies inside the can and you would seal it. After a while, they just die. I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's no oxygen in there.
Yeah. So yeah, the Eldar, some of them obviously because they're craft words would be able to get out before the thing is sealed off.
Yeah, the Exodites.
But then they don't have faster than light travel, so it really becomes let's say an Orc WAAAGH attacks a craft world. The craft world is as big as a planet sometimes. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do? Nothing. They're just going to have to fight.
Yeah.
They can't run away. So, yeah.
They don't have to worry about their souls getting eaten anymore. But
That's yeah.
but there's other things to worry about now.
Yeah. Another thing too that I was thinking is that with the sealing of the warp, it would, or with the destruction of faster than light travel, the Imperium might allow the Adeptus Mechanicus to start experimenting with xenotechnology, experimenting with the Tyranids, basically like wrinkling of time and space, and the Necron psychic bending ability or physics bending abilities.
Yeah.
Then they might have a chance. But let's face it, like the Adeptus Mechanicus still prays to toasters, so we're not gonna find a way.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, humanity needs this type, especially since they already have it and it's gone. They need something to replace that quick. And with how stagnant and backwards the Imperium is, yeah, I don't see it happening unless they turn to some type of heresy, which they will deem as not heresy.
Right, yeah. Good question, though.
Yes.
Next one.
This one is by L. Mac and Cheese. How far would a Space Marine chapter get if they were in 30K? Would they take over or would they lose to another faction? So if you take a Space Marine chapter from the 41st millennium and put it into the 31st millennium, how would they fare? Okay. I mean, yes, everything was better back in the day, but I mean, there are some technological advancements, such as like the Primaris Marines. They do pretty good in the 30K era. Their armor is pretty durable. They're faster. So that would account for the difference between like fighting like radium weapons, phosphorus weapons, that kind of thing. So yeah, they'll do all right.
Yeah, it also depends on the chapter too. If
True.
you have a chapter that's like that has a home planet, then obviously it doesn't have any more reinforcements or recruitment. But if you have a crusading chapter, so like the Black Templars or even the Carcharodons, you throw them into, it doesn't matter when you throw them into space, they're self-sufficient.
Yeah.
They're autonomous. And also, like, if they go back then to the 31st millennium, so 30K, right? That's what you're saying? Yeah, 30K, then do they get support from the Great Crusade? Because if that's the case, then, yeah, it'll be fine.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why I was picturing, like, if they were going back to 30K and fighting other Space Marines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, if they're fighting against other Xenos, yeah, they'll do all right.
Yeah. Even if they're fighting against, like, legions, the legions were huge, but they were also split up into expeditionary forces. But even those were pretty big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Next question.
Well, hold on. Before we move on, I just thought about this.
Yes.
In the 30K era, there were no Codex compliance chapters because there was no Codex Astartes.
Yeah.
So you'd literally have 100,000 Marines to a legion. Obviously, the chapter is only 1,000 strong, give or take. So yeah, if they're fighting 1,000 against 100,000, clearly this is where numbers prevail.
Yeah, they would get squashed.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Tyron Hogan. Is there a chaos god of fear? If not, why not? There is no chaos god of fear. There is no chaos god of fear because that emotion hasn't coalesced. I think you were talking about this last time, and you were saying that when we were debating on like what would be a cool new god or new gods, there are certain emotions that feed multiple gods.
Right.
And I think fear is one of them.
Right. I feel like fear is kind of a driving force for almost anything you do.
Yep.
You want to strive to be perfect because of fear of failure. So that covers Slanesh. You want to be the best warrior. You want to kill your opponent first before they kill you because of the fear of dying.
Yep.
You want to survive and spread the pestilence and the rot because you don't want to die. So again, that's Nurgle. And of course, you're going to plot and scheme to put yourself ahead because you don't want to fall back in this like regression state, Zeech.
Yep.
Yeah, so fear is it should be bigger, but it does tie into everything, so I could see why they didn't make that into a god, because fear is like a primal, almost instinct, I feel, for humanity. Because if you think about like the Stone Age and like cavemen and that kind of thing, fear is kind of what drove them to do what they did. I need to eat, I need to survive, I'm scared of the dark, so I need to build a fire and whatnot. So
Yeah. Think of fear as almost like a chocolate cake shake, and the chaos gods, you and your boys, and you and your boys got straws, and you guys all dip the straws into the chocolate cake shake, and you're sucking together. So just picture you sucking with your boys.
The same drink, all straws in there.
Yes.
Thick shake,
Thick.
too.
You always have that one friend who goes, ooh, I got a piece of the cake. Next question.
This one's by Tom Hatton. So I was listening to a Wolf Lord Rowe video the other day, and he spoke about the cult of Sanguinius, and that he would help from the warp with his daddy. My question is, do you think that he could become the next Chaos God, but say one of justice? Perhaps Chaos Light as a warp god who would only be able to be in the Materium for brief periods. So basically Sanguinius becoming a Chaos God, or at least a minor Chaos God.
Like a saint.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah, because Saint Celestine is kind of doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would like that. I think I'd just bring him back so that. But I mean, who cares? As long as we get a Sanguinius model.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Sanguinius was dead. He sacrificed himself fighting off his brother. Such a tragic story. Horus. Giving the emperor the much needed time he needed to get there. So his sacrifice was a major one for the whole history of 40K. And now that they're saying, well, hold on, he's not dead. He's just in near-death state in stasis. I feel like that kind of cheapens it. But at the same time, I'm kind of okay with it because that means they can bring him back, give him a new model, have him be able to play in the current edition of 40K or future editions.
And it depends on how you write that whole thing. Because if he appears like kind of like the Legion of the Damned, where as soon as the battle's over, he disappears, it makes me think of the time that who was it that like returned? I think it was Dante. No,
The Sanguinor?
The Sanguinor. Yeah, it reminds me of the Sanguinor.
So yeah, the Sanguinor is hinting at like what Sanguinius could be, or maybe he's like a representation of Sanguinius' soul. Because yeah, he does appear in like the direst needs, and he like kicks butt and then dips.
Yeah,
And nobody knows who he is or what he is.
right. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Maybe I'll start playing Blood Angels. Probably not. This question comes from all the way to Z2. What is going to happen to the Existential Crisis t-shirt? What Existential Crisis t-shirt?
Did we say we were going to make an Existential Crisis t-shirt?
Maybe.
That's a fun phrase. Existential Crisis t-shirt.
That should just be the t-shirt.
I'm going to use that when I have to like practice my vocalizations.
Existential Crisis t-shirt.
Say that 10 times fast.
I have found that, like, right before recording, if I do those types of things, like Mama Made Me Mash My M&Ms, that doesn't help.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, well, they used to make us do that in elementary school.
Mama maybe match my M&Ms.
Yeah. And then, what is the other one? Shelly sells seashells by the seashore?
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah, that one.
7 silly sailors sailed the 7 seas.
Yes. That usually does not help. Like, I still can't speak afterwards.
Maybe it just limbers up the tongue for other things.
Oh.
Tommy Falcon says, unpopular opinion here, but I think that the Alpha Legion is actually just a bunch of Alphariuses. Alphariusi? Alphari? Essentially just a bunch of Primarchs, which is why there are so few of them, and the Big Daddy refused to increase their numbers because it was so cost prohibitive to make Primarchs. Also, why the Legion all referred to themselves as Alpharius, the Primarch, which was smaller than other Primarchs, and the Alpha Legion was larger than other Astartes. What are your thoughts?
Could be. Because they are the last Legion to be created, and then they were a Legion that, like, all of a sudden Alpharius was already there.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have an origin story. Well, he has 3.
He has a lot.
Yeah, so...
It's like he either was on a planet, was like left alone trying to survive, pirates came in, stole their ship, went back, or he didn't even go anywhere. He was always with the Emperor in the Imperial Palace. And what's the last one?
I think those are it, yeah. Those 3.
I only said 2.
No, the Lost on a Planet.
Right.
Pirates.
Oh, so that's 2 separate ones.
Yeah.
I thought that was the same one.
No, yeah, Pirates and then just Always with the Emperor.
Chilling
I think
with
Always
the
with the
Emperors.
Emperor is always lame.
Yeah.
Because they said the same thing about Horus.
Right.
Lame.
But
So
it's like, it's not just Alpharius, too. You got to remember there's also Omegon, which one of them died fighting your boy,
Dorn.
Dorn.
Supposedly.
Yeah, so we never really know what's true, what's right, what's not when it comes to the Alpha Legion.
Except that part that you just said. Because it's one of those situations of like, if they are all Space Marines, how did that one go toe-to-toe with
The
Dorn?
Primarch, yeah. True. So it's either Alpharius or Omegon that's dead.
Yeah. Or both. Or none.
Yeah. Or they're all Primarchs. I feel like it doesn't make sense to say they're all Primarchs.
No.
Because to have a legion of all Primarchs is insane. Why would they lose any battle?
Called Debus Custodes.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Angel Warrior 28. Are there any true Perpetuals in the lore that are older than the Emperor? Yeah, in the Cabal, I think there's a couple Perpetuals that are Xenos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who they are.
They really need to like give us some lore on perpetualism.
Yeah. Even though I think that's a really boring, like it's not good for the tabletop.
No.
It's not. It's not even good for like an RPG game.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, well, I guess you wouldn't give a character the power of being a perpetual, would you?
I feel like that'd be too overpowered because it's like in the game of 40K, you kill a character, you get a point.
Yeah. And
then they come back. Either the enemy's going to take advantage of this, of just killing him over and over and over again and racking up points that way, or vice versa. Whoever's using that character will just use him to claim objectives like, oh, you killed me, but I come back, now I'm contesting. Oh, you killed me, but I come back, now I'm contesting. Or I could attack again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of breaks the game and it makes things very cheesy. Unless there's like negatives attached to it where after they die 3 times, like that's it. Yeah. Or with every death, you lose a victory point or something like that to balance it out.
Agreed.
But yeah, I think it's better to just make death constant because it adds that fear and it kind of makes you be more tactical and not just throwing him willy-nilly knowing that he can't die.
Yeah. Then they created the Deceiver?
Mm.
Who can kill like God School in turn 1 if you really wanted to.
Well, no, because God School's got that limit cap on how many wounds he loses.
No, not with...
not with him?
Not with him. Yeah. Next question comes from... You got one?
Yeah, by the Cosmic Code. Would it be possible for Tuska the Demon Killer to become a demon prince of Khorne? And if he did, could he have demons or demon orcs as followers?
Think of him as a blade sharpener. The Khorne would not want to get rid of his blade sharpener by turning it into a blade, if that makes sense. Because he's there to fight Khorne's generals, greater demons, basically. So if you get rid of him and make him a greater demon, then like you lose out on that training material.
Right.
Also, I don't know if like Tuska even wants to become one of Khorne's followers, because remember that like all like Chaos followers, whether they want or there's a need, there's a desire to want to be the best, to be like the most, collect the most skulls and stuff like that. And I don't think the Tuska even wants that. Right. He's just killing to kill. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care about no patron.
Right. He just wants the big fights.
Right. Next question.
This one is by the big one. Ultra strong Charmin or ultra soft Charmin? Which is better for the booty?
I don't even know which one I use. I know I use one of them.
I feel like if you've got some pretty nasty poops and you need the strength or else your fingers are going to get all Nutella-like, definitely go for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're very delicate and you don't want to cause that rug burn, then go for the softness.
Yeah, you could also just drink pre-workout every morning, like 2 scoops. Then everything will come out like water.
You won't even need to wipe.
Yeah.
It's like you wipe and it's like, whoa, phantom poop.
Yep. It's like a reverse bidet. Mm-hmm. It cleans from inside out. Next question. This will be the last question from Angel Warrior 28. Considering the fact that Lorgar was the first to turn chaos, what was it about Horus that caused the Horus heresy? He was a war master, so he's in charge of everything.
Everything, yeah.
So then Chaos was like, ooh, this boy is my boy.
Este aquí.
Yep. And the rest, as they say, is history. 40K history.
until they retcon it.
Yeah. He wasn't really the war master. He was sharing it with Sanguinians. But yeah, that's not true.
No.
Those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah. This has been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation. I knew I never had that much to lose.